What's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about something that's kind of been a hot topic the past couple days. Apparently, stemmed from Perfect Legend, who's like a dead or alive in Mortal Kombat, like professional tournament player. He sent a sub email out about him showing frustration. He wasn't getting as many views playing Mortal Kombat 10 versus some of the bigger fighting game streamers, Justin Wong and Maximilian. And it stemmed a whole shitstorm. People got upset at him. I think he got bombarded with insults and stuff. And I think he's definitely wrong, but he also has some things that I can agree with too. One of the problems with high-level gameplay in general is there are a lot of people who can do high-level gameplay. There's people like Brea, Tatsumaru Black, a lot of the old school Kyle, a lot of the old school DMC players. But there's very few right now that are actually educating people on how to do those things. And I think that's what sets people apart. People like Maximilian and Justin Wong, sure, they may not be hardcore Mortal Kombat players, but they're educating people on how to play those games, which is why they're getting so many viewers. You can watch a fighting game stream, and unless if it's like a tournament or a weekly and the commentators are really good and they're explaining anything, to the untrained eye, you don't really know what's going on. And that's something that I've been trying to change in the past 2 years. It's been about 2.5 years since I started actually using a mic on my channel. I did do tutorials way back when for stuff like Vesperia, some of the Orochi games and stuff, but I don't really know what the point of this is. I think it's just the reason why the high-level community is so stagnant is because there's very little information out right now. Somebody who picks up something, with a really deep combat system like Bayonetta or DMC4, or even, some of the Tales games like Heartsar and Vesperia, the ones with the higher skill ceiling. There's just not a whole lot of information out right now, and I think what needs to change in the high-level community, there needs to be less elitist behavior. Some of the stuff that Perfect Legend was saying, some people were saying he was elitist. I'm not really sure about that. I mean, I have to admit, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I feel like that too. I see people on here that have been doing this for like a year, and they have like exponentially more viewers than I do. But at the end of the day, those people worked really hard on their communities too. A whole part of doing this kind of thing is you have to find your niche and you have to be consistent with it. You have to try to educate people. The scene can't grow. It doesn't matter what scene it is, even if it's something more casual like Minecraft or League of Legends or stuff. Your scene can't grow unless there's information widely available to help people get better. And I think that's what people like Justin Wong and Maximilian are doing for the community. Mortal Kombat games have a really big casual audience, much bigger than the other fighting games that are out right now. I think games like the recent Guilty Gear Xrd, Skullgirls has made a great stride in teaching people how to play fighting games from inside the game itself without having to go to an external source like somebody's YouTube or Twitch. But I still think we have a long way to go. I know my channel has been on a slump lately. I still do try to educate people on these games. I want the scene to grow. As you know, a lot of us aren't getting any younger. I'm in my late 20s. I'm not going to stop anytime soon, but who knows where, all the other high-level players are going to do. They could get married, they could go to another country, they could get enlisted in the army or something. They may not be around forever. I think what we need to do is we need to, I guess, promote more preservation in these communities. These games have a small community as it is. People can watch, stuff like, all the Bayonetta perfect, pure platinum guides and stuff like that, and you can be impressed by it, even if, you're not really a trained person in the series. But I think what overwhelms a lot of people is high-level gameplay just seems daunting and impossible to do. I've been told, I'm one of the better Dynasty Warriors / Muso players out there. I don't really think that really means anything. Dynasty Warriors is not really on par with, somebody who goes to fighting game tournaments and takes home, a couple grand every, month or two. But, I have tried my best to better those communities. I try to put out all the advanced techniques that I find, how to get started on your own videos and stuff. And I think we need to see more of that, not only just in, the little small communities that I tend to gravitate towards, which is, Muso Games, Dynasty Warriors, DFO, all the other random stuff that I cover. The fighting game community too, and I think people need to be less harsh on the people who may not, stick with the game. If they're actually able, people like Maximilian, sure, maybe he won't be playing the game much longer. He may go back to Marvel or Street Fighter 4 or something, whatever he likes more. But he is growing the scene. He is giving people a resource for how to, actually get into these games at a competitive level. And the community definitely needs to grow. A lot of the people, the last big major bump that the fighting game community had in terms of an influx of brand new players with Street Fighter 4. You hear the phrase, we're tired of these 09ers and stuff. In my opinion, you can't really say that anymore, because 2009 was 6 years ago. The people who got into the fighting game community because of Street Fighter 4 hitting the 360 and PS3 have been around for closer to a decade now. So I think the scene needs to grow more. I hope you guys just appreciate the people who actually do go the extra mile and try to educate people on these games, because it's not easy. I tend to do very minimal editing, especially lately with the computer issues that I've been having, but I do my best to provide a coherent experience. Some of the stuff that I've done recently, like the Dynasty Warriors 8XL stuff, Basara early last year, some of the other things I've done for DFO. I do try my best to grow those communities. I think it's really a shame. These games have such high skill ceilings, but there's really only a handful of people that are actually willing to share how to do it. I think we need to end a little bit of the elitist stuff. So what if some random Let's Player puts up a really coherent guide? He may not stick with the game, sure, but he's helping to grow the scene, and that's what we need moving forward. A lot of the older people, be it in the kind of the communities that I'm in, character action games, beat 'em ups, Muso and stuff, they may not be around forever. We need to kind of foster in a new generation, so I hope that happens. In any case, I'll see you guys tomorrow. At the time of recording, I did get 2 of the parts that I will need to hopefully fix the computer. Unfortunately, I don't have access to a screwdriver to use my old fan right now. I may have that fixed by the time you see this, but yeah, the light is at the end of the tunnel. I hope to have things fixed soon. Obviously, next month, I want to have the new video card. I want to have the computer not turning off. I want to have all of that fixed, because it's kind of the summer is going to be kind of a Hail Mary for me in terms of growing this channel and doing it to at least make a little money back. It's kind of been hard lately, even without the problems, there just hasn't been anything going on. I've been dealing with a lot of depression. As you know, I did not get paid from YouTube this month. It's made things hard for me, so just bear with me a little longer. I promise by hopefully this time next week I will be back in business for sure. See you guys later. Peace.